Go to Washington right now, where the White House says they are working closely with fuel pipeline operator Colonial Pipeline to try and restart operations there after a cyber attack from an alleged Russian criminal group called the Darkside. That pipeline taken offline late last week. Joining us now to discuss the immediate impacts of the shutdown on all of us is business and market analyst Seth Denson. Seth, good morning. Nice to have you back on the show on this Monday.
Good morning, Rob. Happy Monday.
Seth, most people probably aren't aware of this pipeline. I didn't know much about it, but it's enormous. It runs 5,500 miles, basically from Texas all the way north to New Jersey. It carries gas, diesel, jet fuel, heating oil, and fuel for U.S. military bases across the country. We probably won't see a price jump in gas prices at the pump if it remains shut down for a couple of days. But if this thing is shut down for a while, this could affect millions of people, couldn't it?
Oh, it certainly can. Listen, this pipeline, Rob, pushes 45% of all fuel into the East Coast. So that's where they get their major supply here. And it was interesting to me to see the Department of Transportation just this week very quickly allow for permits, immediate permits, to bring fuel up to the East Coast through by way of, truck, boat, train, something they normally don't do. That tells me the federal government is really nervous about this. This pipeline plays a huge role in fueling America.
Hey, what do we know about this group that forced the pipeline to go offline?
Well, we think it's Darkside, which is a Russian-based cyber criminal group. Interestingly enough, and I was very careful about researching Darkside online, right. But nonetheless, you can hire them, Rob.
Oh.
They're available. They won't attack things like healthcare or things like that. They have morals. So much, or maybe some ethics, but nonetheless, they're very much a viable threat to the globe, and it seems like they may be the ones behind this attack.
Criminals with scruples. It's going to be interesting to see how the administration responds to this today. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo was asked about this over the weekend, when that pipeline would get back up and running. Here's what she had to say. Take a listen.
It's an all-hands-on-deck effort right now. And we are working closely with the company, state and local officials to, make sure that they get back up to normal operations as quickly as possible and there aren't disruptions in supply.
All right, so that's the big question this morning. I remember back in 2017 after Hurricane Harvey, that pipeline was shut down temporarily and gas prices literally went through the roof in the eastern part of the country. So it can definitely have a ripple effect. We're not there yet, though, right?
Well, we're not there yet. If only we were working on another pipeline.
Right.
But the Biden administration shut that down. No, listen, we don't know how long this is going to take, Ra, and I think that's a key factor here. If we go back to 2018, the city of Atlanta was attacked with this ransomware, hey, pay us off, and those ransom attackers only wanted 50,000. City of Atlanta said, no, we're not going to do that, and understandably so. If you give a mouse a cookie, right, they're going to want some more milk. But nonetheless, the city of Atlanta spent about $7 million. And it took them almost 2 years to really get their infrastructure back online. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here and the long-term impact of it.
So do you see the administration, instead of addressing the situation when it comes to Russia, they might just use this to their political benefit to try and push more green energy or something like that?
Yeah, never let a crisis go to waste, right? But here's the reality. If hackers can take a pipeline offline, they can take solar power offline too. So don't listen to that. But nonetheless, yeah, I think the Biden administration is certainly going to utilize this for two key areas. One, if we do see pricing increases on fuel and things like that, they're going to push towards why pipelines may not be safe and we need to move away from it. And then secondarily, anything that they can use to push green energy, they're certainly going to do it.
I'm just curious how this continues to happen over and over, and it always seems like it's Russia or China. Let's talk about the economy for a moment here. We had that jobs report on Friday. Employers added only 266,000 jobs last month. The unemployment rate actually went up slightly. The Biden administration is now pushing the narrative that means they should dump more money into the U.S. economy. But isn't it time, really, for us to end those expanded unemployment benefits, get people off the couch and back to work? Right now, there are millions of jobs available, and employers just can't fill these jobs.
Yeah, we talked about it just briefly last week, Rob, that this is insane that we continue to think that people will go back to work when we're paying them more to stay home. Again, I don't fault the people for doing that. You're telling me I'm going to get my summer off and you're going to pay me to do that? Who's going to go back to work? Now, it was interesting, though, this weekend, Vice President Harris coming out and said, using this as the reason why we need daycare paid for, right? That this was the main motivator here, that's the reason we're not getting the economy open. No, we're not getting the economy open because we're paying people to stay home, and we got to stop doing that. All across America, people, business owners are needing to bring people back. There's just not people to do it.
Yeah, and this is not, by the way, this is not partisan here. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce called for over the weekend. They want to end the 15-month, $300 a week federal jobless supplements. So that's the Chamber of Commerce asking to do that. Quickly, I was looking at it this morning. Dow futures are way up right now. The opening bell doesn't happen for another couple hours, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. What's going on with the market? They keep setting records. What's the market know that maybe we don't know?
Yeah, there's been a fundamental shift, I think, Rob, in the way that we look at the markets. And I go back to the Great Recession, really, 2008, 2009, because what happened was we taught the market and investors to stop worrying about the long term. We started thinking short term. Why? Because government was never going to let the market drop off. They're going to continue to pump money into the market when and where they need to. Short-term investors know this, and I think they're playing on this, whether it be the Bush administration in 08, 09, followed by the Obama administration, and now the Trump and specifically Biden administration, continue to pump cash. Large cap stocks do well. Short-term small cap and private sector does bad. The government's picking winners and losers, and the market knows this.
All right, Seth Denson, good stuff as always. Look forward to having you back on again soon. Appreciate the information.
Thanks, Rob.